Somebody asked me yesterday about how I did the split screen of the interview, and so I wanted to just quickly take you through that process. I'm not going to explain it all because actually the video that I'm creating will explain a lot of it. But I have this clip of me sitting on the left side up here, and I have this clip of me sitting on the right hand side. So I'm going to pull this clip down, but I'm going to put it up above. I'm going to pull this clip in underneath it. Now I know it's too long, so I'm just going to kind of drag this over to make it shorter. And you'll notice down here on the audio, you see how small those peaks are? I'm going to come up here and normalize the audio levels. This is something that I always do when I'm recording with the phone. And the reason for that is my DJI Mic 2 is set up to record to my Canon R6 Mark II, which means it's really too soft for this. So what I have here is I have this clip of me talking down here, and then I have this clip of me that starts talking here. And I want to pull those over until the audio is sort of close together. I'm going to come back here to the beginning, and I'm going to pull this back out so that it's all there. Now, I have, anywhere I put this timeline, that's what you're going to see. So I'm going to select this top clip, and I'm going to put this on crop, and then I'm just going to kind of drag this over to about the middle of that table. Now, you'll see that the table doesn't line up, and the reason that the table doesn't line up is because when I sat down, it moved. It tilted a little bit to the left and to the right. So I'm just going to, just because that bothers me so, I'm going to choose that clip on the right, and I'm going to raise it up just a bit so that at least it's closer. Now it's a little too tall on the back, so let's kind of split the difference. Okay. So now I have this video, and it will start. Let's just start right here and watch how it transfers from one to the other. And then they're going to talk. So let's see what that looks like. And one of the things we'll do when we put this in post. Okay, so that made a really smooth transition. Now, on purpose, I did not leave this top clip on very long because it wasn't really necessary. So I'm just going to come here and I'm going to cut that off. And then I'm also going to cut this clip because I can't have this. So what I'm going to do with this clip right here is I'm just going to zoom in. I'm going to drag it over here to the left. I'm going to push it up a little bit. I'll zoom in a little bit more. And the goal is to get rid of anything over here that might have shown me in the scene. So it's going to transition like this. In the beginning of talking in this video, and line them up so they begin one right after. Okay. So at the end of this talking, I'm going to get rid of that. I created this clip where I moved the camera. I'll kind of explain that in the video when it's final. I'm going to normalize the audio levels again. And then I'm going to cut that right there. And that's Command B is the blade tool to cut it. Now, I want to make sure that I get rid of as much of this on the right as possible because I don't want it to be noticeable that I don't have anybody there. So I'm just going to zoom in again. And I'm going to leave it like that, okay? Now, I did create a little clip right here. I'm going to pull it over because I want to edit it real quick. And that is a clip of the other me just sort of sitting, nodding. Just going to get rid of all of that. Like that. And I'm just going to pull this over here. I will determine exactly where it's going to go before I do the, but it's going to look like this.
Person in this shot. But then again, just getting a shot of me is not enough.
So it's probably going to wind up being over, maybe over around here. And then my last shot is, let's get rid of this. My last shot is the other me talking. I'm going to normalize the audio levels again and cut that right there and pull that over so that it transitions like this.
That is. Well, I'll let him say it. Thank you, Tim. So the reason.
Now I'm gonna enlarge that just a little bit to take out a little bit of the left side of that table. And I'm gonna drop it down so I'm all the way in there. And that will work. Now the only other things I do with these videos, well, let me come over here, let me crop this off. So this is going to be the end of the video. So once I have a video where I have it all together, I pull this down to kind of start a little bit in. Let's put it right there. I'm going to make a copy of it. That's Command C. And then I'm going to do Command V to paste it. And then I'm going to come up here to the transform tool and just drag it down a little smaller, drag it over here into the corner. That's why it never looks the same way twice, because I do this all sort of just eyeballing it. And then one of the things that I've started to do now at the end is to add a little text box that just says, "Thank you for watching." Let's make sure that I get all this spelled right. Please like and subscribe. And I'm going to make that just a little bigger. And then I'm going to push it up to the top. And I know that the end screen that I'm adding is 20 seconds long. So I'm going to change this clip duration to 20. And then once the video is at the end on YouTube, you will see the end screen pop up right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put this completed video now here at the end right here so that you can watch what it looks like all the way together. And hopefully it will explain everything okay for you.
I had some people in the comments yesterday ask me about how I did the split screen with the two me's. So I wanted to kind of demonstrate that today. Now I'm in a really bad spot for that for a couple of reasons. One is because I've got all this external noise out here that's probably going to come through and bother my audio. But more importantly, I've got a small sapling back here behind me that is sort of waving in the breeze just a little bit. And if I don't get the cut right between me and the other me, you're gonna see that's not blending. And then also, this is my third take to try this because somebody walked behind me the first two times and they would sort of just appear magically out of somewhere because part of the screen where they are would be cut out. So this is one of those things where you've got to sort of plan things out a little bit at least ahead. Now, the other me over here that's going to appear is going to watch this video when I finish recording it, and they're going to count how long it took me to talk. And then they're going to wait a little bit longer just to give it a little bit of a buffer, and then they're going to talk. So let's see what that looks like. And one of the things we'll do when we put this in post, when we put it in editing, is we'll lay these two clips on top of each other, and I will go to the end of the talking in that video and the beginning of the talking in this video and line them up so they begin one right after the other. I've made sure that I didn't speak here longer than I was speaking over there to give myself some editing room, but I'm going to purposefully talk longer here than I turn to watch on this side of the video. And the reason for that is you can't always time everything perfectly. And when you run out of that video, that's when you want to punch in and do a close-up of this video, same camera angle, but you don't lose anything in the process. And so I can do away with that side of the video and just have this left. And then there's one other little trick we'll talk about. So to sort of make things, you know, a little more interesting visually, I've moved the camera, but I'm still talking to where the camera was. So it looks like everything is still the same as it was. I've tried to set the camera at an angle where I can see part of the table, but not the part of the table where the other me is sitting. So that, you know, you don't miss that person in this shot. But then again, just getting a shot of me is not enough. So you want another shot of the person over here, just sort of nodding along, not saying anything, that you can sort of lay over and make part of the video. And then it's just a matter of, you know, kind of putting all those pieces together. I do highly recommend that if you try this, you lay out a storyboard so you know exactly what you're going to say at every angle that you're going to give. And the reason for that is, well, I'll let him say it. Thank you, Tim. So the reason that you want to lay that out in a storyboard is so that you don't make the same mistake that I made yesterday. Yesterday, I answered another question in between those two questions I had in the video. But I forgot, when I changed the camera angles, I forgot to get the other me asking the question. And so when I went in to edit, I was like, well, that question doesn't make any sense. He's answering something nobody ever asked. So I just had to leave all that out. So this time I've tried to think a little bit more through, but again, it's very, very simple. There's not a lot going on here. And hopefully, as you watch this being put together in the DaVinci Resolve, you'll see really how easy this can be to kind of throw it all together. Let me know what you think in the comments. Both of us will see you tomorrow.